A very good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on the 25th of October for our Telecleft virtual lectures, brought to you by Smile Train and the West African College of Surgeons. My name is Emily Manjeru, and I'm truly grateful as the Communications Manager for Africa for you being able to join us today. Today is going to be a very unique session in which we will not really have lectures, but we also want to get a review of how you have experienced the lectures to be. We have been able to bring these lectures over the past 1 year since the COVID pandemic happened. It may have disrupted a lot of things, but we also proved that as Smile Train and the West Africa College of Surgeons, we are also innovative and disruptors of the education system of the lectures. Without further ado, I would love to warmly welcome the Smile Train and Works coordinator of the Telecleft lectures, Professor Adebola, to take us through the next session. Over to you, Professor Adebola.
Morning, everybody. Thank you, Emily, for this session. I think anything we do and we don't review and evaluate, I think we cannot progress. I think it has been a great opportunity that we are using because of COVID to restructure our educational system and the way we provide education. When the COVID started, there was a total lockdown, and Smile Train and West Africa collaborated to innovate a new way of increasing the capacity of our team members and to see how we can take our cleft services forward in terms of skills acquisition and strengthening comprehensive care system. And that is why from April 27 to July 14, 2020, the first Telecleft series started. And when we started, we were having twice weekly presentations. And for this first series of Telecleft, we have 24 lectures given. And these lectures were given by very seasoned faculty members from the West African College of Surgeons. And the topics of the presentations covered all the areas of cleft care services, from the team, composition of the team, to different aspects of cleft, to safety, and then to quality assurance. And after that, we went to the second series, which started from July 20 to October 6, 2020. And that was another 12 weeks. And we had also 24 lectures. And we still continued the twice weekly presentation. And it was the attendance and the participation was very, very encouraging. This continued to the third series, which lasted from October 12th to December 29, 2020. Another 12 weeks and 19 lectures were given. We are very grateful that this thing has continued, and we thank all the participants for their participation. When we came to 2021, we thought that things should be reviewed. And then instead of doing a twice weekly presentation, we started a twice monthly presentation. And currently we are on the 5th series of Telecleft. Now, what informed the Telecleft was the lockdown. But we see that things have changed. The COVID is still with us, but the impact is not as it used to be. A lot of activities have started, and we saw that we really need to look at what we are doing so that we can have it more efficient and have it very more impactful. And that is why we think that at this end of this series, we should look at what we have done and make it an inclusive discussion so that all the participants will have opportunity to tell us their expectations, to tell us what they have benefited, to tell us what their expectations that were not met, and to tell us how we think this should go on. Because as a West African College of Surgeons, we are here for training and for strengthening comprehensive care. So we want to hear from the participants their view of the series of the lectures that have been given so far, have a feedback from them, whether the timing is okay, what they need to do, the frequency of the lectures, or whether we need to change the template of our presentation. Maybe we make it like a conference or what. So that instead of us being prescriptive, we want to make it an inclusive thing so that we can hear from those who are benefiting from these services, and then can help us in the design of future activities we want to have. We want to commend Smile Train and West Africa for this collaboration. And we think that it's a very great innovation that other parts of the continent have seen something good that can come from Africa. And it has been a novel thing that is being emulated by other clients. So I think it's something that is good. It's something that we need to be proud of. It's something that we need to congratulate ourselves for doing. But as I've said, nothing is static. So today we want it to be an participatory. There's going to be a poll that Emily is going to send, but there's going to be a Google document that is going to be sent for everybody for us to look and also be able to advise how we think the Telecleft series should go. Should we continue this virtual? Should we make it more, the frequency less, so that we want more participation? Because the time of lockdown, everybody was available, but right now activities are on, people have other engagements. And is this format we are using, having a 1 hour presentation, is it the best for us? Or do we think we can do something more impactful, actually strengthening not only our skills, but also the comprehensive care? So that is why today we are just looking at having this evaluation. So I think participants will have opportunity to be able to say anything. If you want to speak, maybe you raise your hand. I think Emily will be able to allow you to say something. And then Emily also will be able to share a quote to you. So that now we are concluding this series 5. We've done series 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. But we really need to look at what we are doing so that we can have the best outcome from what we are doing, and for the investment we are making to be very efficient and very impactful. So once again, I want to congratulate you for being participants or beneficiary of this lecture series. I want to hear from you how we can work together and make it more impactful. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you so much, Prof. As Prof has mentioned, we are now warmly welcoming the attendees to raise your hand if you have a statement or feedback to share, and I will be able to unmute you to share your feedback. Meanwhile, we do have translation in French for our French-speaking colleagues. If you are able to log into the interpretation icon, you are able to hear this session in French and English. As well, I'm going to share on the chat the link that has a wider extension of the feedback that we look forward to hearing beyond what we are discussing today. Ladies and gentlemen, I have shared a form that I would love to hear feedback on, but in the meantime, as we wait to hear, this time, we would love to hear from our attendees. How did you find the sessions? I know he has left. Adeline has been joining us from time to time. Dr. Suranda has joined from time to time. You've been very supportive in attending the lectures, and we'd love to hear for once, probably having attended, not just as an attendee, Dr. Singh, as an attendee, as well as participant, perhaps. Forgive me for putting you on the spotlight. How have you found the sessions both ways? Dr. Singh, if you can hear me. Dr. Singh, can you hear me? Okay. As Dr. Singh finds his microphone, maybe we could hear from Adeline Villemboa.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to today's
Hi.
session. For today, you are an attendee, you're a panelist as well. Share your feedback, please. Thank you.
My greatest wish is working in a referral system, in a referral hospital, surgery, and referral. We are feeling that we need to do a little bit more. We had actually approached your organization so that we can have our team, your team, help train our postgraduate students. And we are hoping that that will actually work. We have already talked to the management. We're actually waiting for a feedback from you.
Where are you joining us from, Adeline?
Kenyatta National Hospital, Kenya, Nairobi.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Vilembo. So you're saying that what we would love to hear is a lot more training for the trainees in practice for the hospital, yes. Right?
Yeah, because after that, most of them will now go to the public hospital, and we are wishing that that would actually be a way forward for them to actually do cleft at the institutions instead of sending them to specific centers.
That's valuable feedback. So I think one of the things that I would love to highlight as well that we are working towards is we want to mainstream education and training as an opportunity for Smile Train to advance our support system. So we do recognize that our healthcare systems need a lot of education and training. And one of the things that we do heavily invest in is in those continuous trainings. So I will possibly patch you through to our programs director or manager in the region who would be able to guide on how this can be cascaded to your institution. But all the same, I know you have been attending our sessions. How have you found them? What's the feedback that you can give of these lectures?
I must confess, when I was in training, we didn't do a lot of cleft, but I'm glad I've been able to attend and I've gained a lot of valuable information. And one thing I'm realizing from our region, we've not done a lot of research on the cleft patients we have had. So I'm hoping I have collected quite a bit of data, and I'm hoping at least we can actually put that out so that people can actually see the kind of cases we do in our area here. And also just in our institutions, it's a resource constrained facility, but we've been able to do most of our patients so that we are hoping instead of referring them to other institutions, we should actually do them under one roof in our institution, which is a training institution.
That's very wonderful feedback. Thank you so much, Adeline. That is very valuable feedback. And we will definitely put that in the list of things to do to make this better. Shall we hear from West Africa? I will be daring to invite Dr. Anthony. You have been dedicated from series 1. Allow me to put you on the spotlight on this one. Dr. Anthony Neswa, if you can hear me, how are you? Dr. Anthony, can you hear me? Okay, he may not be in a position to talk. Maybe we can try and go back south to Dr. Singh. As I try and find the sounds. So Professor Debola was able to highlight on something that is also really important, and that's on the timing of these sessions. I'm going to quickly launch a poll that I would like to invite all of us to respond to, just so that we're able to understand, first of all, how are you receiving this information? And do the days work for you? does the timing work for you? If it doesn't, what other timing support do you think we can have? So in a second, I am launching the poll that we can share our feedback on. Please share your feedback on the poll that I have just highlighted now. We would love to hear what timings work for you. How do you get to hear about the sessions? And how can we, and then the link I have shared online on the chat box is the one that will have a more extensive feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, I have launched the poll. We would love to hear your feedback. Please click on the responses. Thank you so much. We are seeing one. We are about 14, so we'd love to hear at least a few more. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the attendees, please share your feedback. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for the feedback. Keep the responses coming. And meanwhile, probably we could hear Professor Debola once again. You have been supportive through this entire session. From your personal experience, how have you seen the growth of this program? And now that it has taken interest, how do you envision Telecleft to be?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think when it started and the format we used was very, very useful, very impactful. But as I've said, as time is going on, we really need to re-strategize and see what we need to do, so that people will make it a priority to attend and also benefit maximally. So I think right now, as a postgraduate college training institution platform, we should be looking at how we can have more like a 3-day intensive workshop that people can plan to attend, and then they will be certificated for that, so that we can strengthen both the skills and the comprehensive care in the region and Africa as a continent. So that if we have that, it will be different, because currently the West African College of Surgeons with Smile is running a certification program, a 9-month certification program in cleft care. But for wider attendance and increase in skills and organizational skills also, we really need to have this short, like a conference or workshop that can be like a hybrid, both virtual and in-person, where we can have seasoned faculty members to impact, and then people can plan to attend, and then all the activities can be scheduled so that we can have more impactful activity. So that's what I think we should be looking at, or we can now see whether we have more of these group discussions that will look at all the different components of comprehensive care and look at the time that is most suitable for people, so that each aspect you can now have a panel discussion and people can participate to ask questions. So these are things we need to be looking at, because having a monthly or weekly something, I think with the opening up of activities, I think the attendance will not be as what we expect. But we have something that is more comprehensive, something that is more impactful, that people can plan towards, and then can be, I think that would be something that we should be looking at. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. And ladies and gentlemen, please do feel free to keep bringing in your votes, your suggestions on the poll. You do raise some really critical elements there, and one of them is definitely attendance and being able to achieve this. When we started out this Telecleft lectures, we did have quite an amount of time, and we felt that it was great to capitalize on being at home, considering how things have changed dynamically. In equal measure, there's also the opportunities that we have seen of Africa being the trailblazer. For example, the Indonesia government has taken up the lectures that we have been giving here from time to time, and they are adapting them into their own sessions. So I would love to say a round of applause to the Smile Train Africa team and WACS for developing such quality content that is also being adapted in other regions. Who would have thought Africa would be blazing the trail on such a platform? I would love to hear now from, if I call you, please understand, I'm trying to give opportunities as many as possible to all the attendees. Steve Mpoyo, can you hear me? Steve, if you can hear us, how are you, sir? Steve, if you can hear us, please share your feedback on the few sessions that you have been able to attend. Ladies and gentlemen, today's is meant to be a very interactive session. It feels very lonely for Professor Adebola and I to be, oh, you can hear me. Thank you, Steve. Allow me to give speaking rights, and then you can share your feedback on how you have experienced the sessions to be for your practice. Tell us where you're joining us from as well. Steve, if you're speaking, please unmute your microphone. All right. Okay, thank you so much to everyone for the polls that you have brought in for us. May we have at least one more person giving us their vote. We appreciate the feedback that has come through. Thank you so much. At least this demonstrates that there's also some amount of interest and dedication that we are giving to the sessions, to the lectures. This is also, of course, for some of the attendees, a unique opportunity to engage with some of the very powerful partners that we have. It's not every day that you will get to listen to Professor Adebola, who is very busy running GSI and still being part of the military hospital in Kano. It's not every day that you get to sit with the Dean of Orthodontics or Dental Sciences at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Professor Da Costa. These Telecleft lectures have provided a unique opportunity for our attendees to get to learn from the legends, as I would love to call them, of Telecleft. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to all the feedback. I have once again shared the link that I would love to hear from you on. It has a more extensive feedback that we would love to get on the Telecleft lectures as we progress into the next series on what you would love to see. So please do share your feedback on that form, share your responses as well, and do let someone know that the lectures are here to support and grow cleft care across the region. One thing I would also love to add to the interest that we have as SmileTrain in growing the programs is that we have partnered with the West African College of Surgeons, as Prof has mentioned, without reiterating, but we also have relationships with the College of Surgeons of East, Central, and South Africa, where we have also extended a 5-year relationship where we have short-term workshops and 3-year plastic surgery opportunities for surgeons to grow in their capacity. We have also partnered with the Kids OR, which is a Scottish charity, to provide education and training to 40 surgeons interested in pediatric surgery. So as SmileTrain, we continue and are interested and dedicated towards making sure that education is a core factor that we continue to advance, so that at any point when we leave as SmileTrain, we have provided roots, we have given strength to our healthcare systems to be able to continue and progress in providing the necessary cleft care. I don't know whether Professor Adebola, you may have anything else to add, but we have come to the end of our very brief discussion. I would have loved to hear so much more from our attendees before we end.
Thank you very much, Emily. I think we wanted this to be more interactive so that we can hear from our attendees, so that we're not just prescribing anything we think is good, so that it can be a collective decision. And then we can factor their own expectations into any plan we want to have. But really, I want to thank SmileTrain for providing this platform, and also for the SmileTrain team that has been coordinating these activities. It has been a very wonderful thing. And as Emily has said, I think that the content has been of the highest quality, that other regions are also using our content for their own programs. And I think it's something we can scale up really, so that we can make it a more sustainable thing and look at the way forward, so that it will be a win-win for everybody, so that SmileTrain can really say that they have impacted, not only in providing the funds, but also building up the capacity and the skills of the partners they have in Africa. So I think it's something that is good, and we in the West African College of Surgeons, we are willing to continue the partnership and to be able to make ourselves available for any other way we can help. I think by the time we meet to review these activities of Telecleft, we should be able to see the way forward and do something that is more impactful. But once again, I want to thank everybody who has been participating in this, the participants, and then the SmileTrain team that has with the interpreters and everybody that has made this a reality. Thank you very much. I hope that the next series will be more impactful, and then we'll see the way forward. Once again, it's my pleasure for me to have been able to coordinate this activity on behalf of the West African College of Surgeons. I will look forward to continuing this as long as possible. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Prof. Ladies and gentlemen, I now share the early results of the suggested times that people would love to attend. So we have had a lot from SmileTrain. A lot of this has been coming from our end. And the days people seem to prefer is on Mondays. So we do sustain the lectures every Monday based on your polls, and not at 10 a.m. West Africa GMT, but at 1700 GMT. So that is the early suggestions that we have received on Monday, and being able to do them at 5 p.m. GMT. All right. Thank you so much to everyone who has participated. Thank you ever so much, Professor Adebola, for walking this journey with us. 1 year down the line, it has been a lot of excitement, a lot of fun, and also quite an amount of learning. I appreciate the entire team working behind the scenes to bring our partners together to make sure that these lectures do happen. I appreciate our attendees, from the different areas where you come from. Thank you ever so much for sacrificing 1 hour of your very busy schedule to attend the Telecleft virtual lectures, brought to you by SmileTrain and the West African College of Surgeons.